Hi, welcome to another episode of Exercise and Stretches with Dr. Zawash. Today we're going to talk about shin splints and we're going to talk about exercise and stretches to alleviate the pain caused by shin splints. Shin splints usually refers to the pain that the patient notices on the outside of the leg or more a little bit to the front of the shin or the leg, and usually the activities that cause shin splints are running, cycling, and hiking, especially if people are hiking downhill. Now, it doesn't happen with once or twice. It's a condition or symptoms that usually happens by repetition of those activities. Now, in order to get rid of the shin pain or shin splints pain, there are a couple of things, besides seeing your chiropractor and massage therapist and physiotherapist to work on those muscles to get rid of the tension and the pressure that has been built up. There are a number of stretches and exercises that you can do at home to kind of speed up the recovery or clear the pain altogether. The first thing that you should do, number one, to reduce your running, reduce your cycling, or reduce your hiking, if that's something that you are doing most of the time. Number two, we're gonna go over a few exercises and stretches, mainly stretches for that area that it can reduce and actually reduces the pain and also speed up the recovery. Let's begin. All right, now we're gonna do the active stretches for shin splints. Again, as a review, shin splints are muscles that are covering outside of the legs and a little bit to the front of the leg. And usually they get very tight, very sore with repetitive activities such as running, cycling, and hiking, especially if you're going down slopes. Now, in order to stretch it, the first stretch that we're gonna do, it really concentrates on these muscles. So basically you find yourself kind of a low stool or something that when you sit you're a little bit closer to the floor, and what you do is that you keep your legs straight and make sure your knees are straight. I'm gonna go a little bit back so you can see the whole view, and make sure the heels are sitting on the floor. Next, what you do is that, and also make sure your feet are shoulder length apart, and while your heels are on the floor, you try to press your toes all the way in as far as you can, push them, and then you bring your toes together without moving your heels. You're basically pivoting your feet on your heels and bringing your toes together. You hold them for about 20 to 30 seconds. Basically, muscles need that time for a stretch, about 20 to 30 seconds, for the fibers to get a nice stretch and get elongated. So you hold it for about 20 to 30 seconds, and then you relax it. And then you should repeat this process at least, or stretch at least 2 or 3 times each day. Now, the second important stretch is stretching the calf muscles. Obviously, calf and shins, they're interconnected, so you cannot stretch one without the other. So in order to stretch your calves, one of the methods that it's very common, you basically come close to the wall, maybe about a foot or a foot and a half away from the wall. The side that you want to stretch your calves, you put your heel down, you bring your toes as far as it can come up, you lean it against the wall. At this point, you bring your body a little bit close to the wall, and you should be feeling the stretch on the calf muscle. As soon as you start stretching or feeling the stretch on the calf muscle, you just hold it for about 20 to 30 seconds, and then you bring the other one up. Same thing, you put your heel down, you bring your toes as far as it can come up, and then you kind of lean it against the wall, and then you bring your body or your hip closer to the wall, and then you should feeling the stretch on that side. Same thing, hold it for about 20 to 30 seconds. At this point, you want to go slow. You don't want to go all the way into the extreme stretching, because there is a chance for your muscles to go to a spasm. So when you do any stretching, make sure you get into it very slowly. So that was the second method of stretching your calves for your shin splints. The other method that I've seen working for patients is that you basically sit like this with your toes all the way there, and you kind of sit on your heels, and then what you need to do is that you need to basically bring your toes together. Same concept. For some people this may give you a bit of an ankle pain. If that was the case, you can go to the first method, basically this one, as I showed you before. The other stretch that it would be very helpful for shin splints would stretching your hamstrings as well. And again, there are a number of stretches to do that, but one of the main ones and the easier one, which you don't need anything for it, you kind of lean forward from the hip. Make sure your knees are not completely locked, but there is a bit of a slack to them, and then you try to reach for your toes, and you just hold them for about 20 seconds, and you should be feeling the stretch from the calves all the way up to the hamstrings. Again, you hold them for about 20 to 30 seconds, and then slowly you come up, and then you should repeat the step 1, 2, and 3, which was stretching your shins, stretching your calves, and stretching your hamstring. I hope you found this video helpful, especially if you have shin splints. For future exercise and stretch videos, if you like to receive them, please subscribe, and I will see you next time.